Hey, how's it going, you guys? Money with Yumi here, where I talk about anything and everything related to money and how to grow your wealth. If you're under 25 watching this, as a millennial or Generation Z, you're probably making the same mistakes as a ton of other millennials around the world, and that's why you're financially screwed. Now, the easy solution though is for you to smash that like button, because yes, one click of that thumbs up button and you're one step away from being rich. And if you clicked on that like button, thank you so much, and let's get started. Right now, there are 1.2 million millennials in Singapore, which represents about 22% of the population, and millennials are currently the largest generation in the Singapore workforce. Not to mention, Singapore millennials are the most educated generation, so why are Singapore millennials so fucking screwed?
That's because millennials are entitled, lazy, overconfident, impatient, and materialistic.
I'm just kidding, but seriously, that's what a Channel News Asia article said, and as a millennial myself, I do think there's some truth in there, and let me explain why. One of the main reasons why millennials are so screwed is because millennials have poor financial literacy. If you're a millennial, for the most part, you were not taught how to use your money, how to manage your money, how to invest your money, and how to grow your money. Growing up, I have heard tons of adults telling us you should save your money for a rainy day, but very few of them actually say you have to invest any extra money. Being financial literate will allow you to build strong money habits early on and avoid many of the mistakes that will lead to lifelong money struggles. And that's why you should subscribe to my channel to increase your financial literacy and grow your wealth so you can gain financial freedom. You could say that millennials are relatively new to the workforce and they are not at their peak earning potential, and they have not let their earnings grow over time. But guess what? CNBC said that millennials are getting paid 20% less than baby boomers did in the 1980s. The average millennial has experienced slower economic growth since entering the workforce than any other generation in history. Do you know what that means? It means that we millennials are getting paid less despite being more educated on paper. So why do we have this sense of entitlement that just because we have this paper degree, we should be getting more salary? Everything seems to be going up, especially the cost of living, right? Like the cost of university, your transportation, your bubble tea, your chicken rice, your laksa. But what about your salary? They are not keeping up. So why is your salary not increasing while everything is going up? For the most part, a degree is getting worthless now because it's too easy for anyone to get one. We were brought up thinking that a degree is important for finding a good job, because back then in our parents' and teachers' generation, it was difficult to enter university to get a degree, and thus making a degree more valuable, just kind of like supply and demand. And it's getting more competitive in the workforce. If everyone has the same undergrad degree, then what makes yours so special? And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're not in the field of engineering, tech, law, or medical, then it's unlikely you're gonna get rich just working for someone else. You can also consider changing jobs every 2 years, because according to this article, you can increase your salary by 10 to 20% every time you change jobs. And this is probably the reason why millennials love job hopping and why we're infamous for it. And unfortunately, as most of you know, millennials have this weird mindset of FOMO and YOLO. And let me say that I've been there, done that, So it's so embarrassing for saying this, and it feels so stupid. But back in university, I saw a celebrity wearing a Cartier Love bracelet and went to get one. And then I felt so stupid because then that was my allowance and living expenses for like 2 to 3 months. So then I sold it at a tiny loss online. But after that incident, I never bought anything on impulse, I think. So millennials are caught up in this rat race where they're in this pointless pursuit to get ahead financially, but still want to live a comfortable life because of what they see on social media. So whatever money they make, they spend. And this is where the materialistic mindset comes in, and it is tied to the influencer culture. You see all these nice, lavish things that people post on social media, and it makes you want to follow them. Like getting the same hair color, trying that new fine dining restaurant, vacation to Europe, staycation at MBS. Well, you get the idea. I'm sure you guys have friends that are like that, right? Always spending their money and posting like their food photos, bar trips, shopping spree, vacation photos on Instagram and Facebook, even though they don't have a high-paying job. And these are the people we call fake rich. putting all their expenses into a credit card, or barely having any savings. Even if these people get, year-end bonuses or a promotion, it's never gonna be enough, because the more money they make, the more money they're gonna spend. And it's this influencer culture mentality that is ruining millennials. You need the right influence that will help you grow your wealth, not squander it. But of course, disclaimer here, if you or your parents are rich and you don't have to worry about being financially broke because your ass is covered, then go ahead and spend more money to keep the Singapore economy running. And for that, on behalf of all Singaporeans, thank you so much. If you have the YOLO or FOMO mindset or are easily influenced by social media, you probably are not thinking long term and have not begun to think about growing your wealth or planning for retirement. When spending money, you should categorize them into non-essential and essential expenses. And a lot of these non-essential expenses are considered luxuries, which means you can live without them.
But Yumi, you don't know if you're gonna live another day, so you should just enjoy your life the way you want it.
Yeah, I've heard that argument a lot, but what if you don't die? What if you live until you're 90? Would you regret not saving money for your retirement when you run out of money? And just so you know, I'm not trying to tell you to stop spending money completely, but you should always live below your means. And for the longest time, I lived like I was broke. No, seriously, I did. I still wear clothes and shoes that have holes in them because I don't want to waste money to buy new stuff. And even now, when I have more money than I had before, I barely spend any money. My car has been paid for, I don't buy clothes, I don't travel much, I only spend my money on food. Oh man, food. Just take my money. The point is, you need to create a budget and stick with it. If you want to enjoy these luxuries, then make sure you make more money to be able to afford them. Which means that after setting aside 50% of your monthly salary for investments and paying off all of your essential expenses and debt, and you still have leftover money, then by all means go ahead and buy that $4 bubble tea because you can afford it. And this is how I think about my money now. If I'm buying a large ticket item, I'll ask myself if I really need it, and if I didn't buy it and invested the money instead, what would that amount be 20 to 30 years from now? This is what I call present versus future value. A study by OCBC Bank shows that 1 in 3 working adults in Singapore do not invest or find ways to grow their money. Wait, why is it his money? Shouldn't it be his or her money? Women especially regard investing as a form of gambling. Wait, what? They are clearly not subscribed to my channel, and if you know someone like that, please share this video with them because I would love to change their mindset. And according to this study, many Singaporeans are also poorly equipped for financial emergencies, and they are far from ready to enjoy their retirement. What if I told you that it really doesn't matter how much money you make, it's about what you do with the money you make. And just because you have more money doesn't mean you should spend your money. And just because you don't make enough doesn't mean you can't invest. And the misconception is that, you need a lot of money to start, which is not true at all. According to the Singapore Department of Statistics, the income gap between Singapore's highest and lowest income earners grew by 60% from $8,236 in 2007 to $13,140 in 2019. Evidently, the lack of investing is also one of the main reasons why the wealth gap between the rich and poor is growing. People who have money can invest that money to make more money, to invest that money to make more money, and then invest the money to make more money, and then make more money, and then make more money. I think you get that point. But if you don't set aside any extra money, then you won't have money to invest. Start investing any extra money as early as you can, because if you're just saving money, you're losing money. Watch this video and you'll find out why. And I can't stress this enough, so I'm gonna give you an example for this, right? Let's say you started investing at age 20, $500 a month, every month for 30 years into an index fund or ETF with an average of 7% returns a year. Thanks to the beauty of compound interest, you would have $570,000 when you're 50 years old. But if you started 10 years later when you're 30, with $500 a month for 20 years, you would have only $247,000 when you're 50. Or another way to look at it is if you started investing when you're 30 years old and you want to reach the same amount of $570,000 when you're 50, you'll have to invest around $1,100 a month, which is more than double of the amount you needed if you started investing at age 20.
But you mean the economy is so inflated and the stock market is so overpriced, it's going to crash sooner or later.
Then my question to you is, when has the market not recovered? Let's take a look at the three largest indexes, right? Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500. During the 2008 depression and 2020 recession, the market dipped, but it's currently at its all-time high, and it will continue to rise in the long run. So you shouldn't try to time the market and just invest consistently through dollar cost averaging, and if the market dips, don't freak out, just hold and buy more. If you're watching and have not started investing your money, you should, because if you're not invested yesterday, you are already late in the game. I think Singaporeans are luckier than other millennials around the world. You know, our education is a lot cheaper than other countries, our taxes are low, and we can still live with our parents without getting kicked out or judged by our peers. So while some of the points I've made may sound disappointing, it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Now that you know why you're screwed, you can do something about it. The key takeaways are to improve your financial literacy, to increase your income, have a budget, spend less, stop being negatively influenced by social media, and most importantly, make sure you are investing right now. So do me a favor and make sure you share this video with your friends so they don't get financially screwed for not knowing about this. And as always, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And feel free to follow me on my Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again next time.